Hello, welcome to Dear Kerynne, your friendly neighborhood life coach, helping particularly with emotions and processing emotions. And today's letter is from Andrea. She says, Dear Coach Kerynne, I am in desperate need of your help. Yes, it is a pet issue that I need to discuss with you, but I'm in need of your help as I am trying to wrap my head around how I am to deal with this and the impact my decisions are going to have on my marriage and family. In a nutshell, here's the story. My dog currently has 2 strikes against him. He has bit 2 neighborhood children. 1 more strike and my dog will be taken away. My husband has never wanted a dog. 3 of my 5 children have begged and pleaded and have wanted a dog so desperately. Somehow I talked my husband into it. I have faithfully trained the dog. He is a very obedient dog, but primarily only with me, the alpha. I was not home when the 2 bites occurred. My husband just assumes to not want to risk another strike. My daughters, on the other hand, feel this dog is their brother. This subject is so contentious between my husband and I have basically told my children it's your dad or your dog, not both. I'm not truly being serious. The root of this whole dilemma, I'm thinking, is stemming from my husband's journey away from God and away from our religious beliefs. For the past 7 years, I've been trying to figure out how to bring my children to Christ while still keeping them close to their father. Before our dog and before my husband's faith journey, I felt at such peace being unified with God and my husband. My direct question to you, is it possible for me to have God, my dog, and my husband all in my home at the same time? Is this fight beneficial or harmful? My belief is that God will prevail, but what does that mean regarding my husband and my dog? Thanks, Coach Kerynne. Kindest regards, Andrea. Okay, this is two issues here that I think we need to address. One of them is the dog, and you actually have a real dilemma here with the dog and the 2 strikes and the dog possibly being taken out of the home. And you've got the potential of your children's hearts being broken over that. So there will need to be a conversation with your children about that possibility, that if the dog does bite again, that it will be taken away. And you can't control what the dog does, so it may be best to prepare your children for, the worst possible scenario of the dog biting someone and getting taken away. So that's a conversation that you need to have with your children. And then your husband, so I just have some questions. First of all, is it true that your husband will not let the dog stay in the house? Has he made an ultimatum? Has he said the dog goes or I go? That's a question that you need to answer, or that was a little unclear to me. And then if your husband is saying you either get rid of the dog or I'm leaving, then what do you want? So really, what do you want? That's the question. Do you want the dog more than you want your husband? I mean, that's a question. Do your children really have to choose between their dad and the dog? Is that a real choice? It sounds like it's not, because you said you were basically just joking. But have you said that to your children? Have you said it's your dad or the dog, maybe even in a joking way? Because you said, I have basically told my children it's your dad or your dog, not both. So that is something that needs to be addressed. Like, is it really true that your children cannot have both? Is it really true that you can't have both? So that's one issue, is the dog. The other issue is your husband's faith journey away from God. And so it sounds like that maybe needs to be processed a little bit more. You may be having some emotions about your husband's choice, maybe some anger or resentment, or you just need to look inside yourself and see what is going on in there. What emotions are you feeling? When you think that, you said, before our dog and before my husband's faith journey, I felt such peace being unified with God and my husband. But was it really unified? Like, was he really on the same page with you? Or, was he already going away and you just didn't know it at the time? So what is true about that? And what emotions are you feeling when you think about your husband leaving your faith? What emotions come up for you? Just kind of listen to your body. What is going on emotionally with your body? You may need to process some anger or resentment or, any kind of emotion that is coming up regarding that. The other thing is, you asked, is it possible for you to have God, your dog, and your husband? Well, I believe it's possible, but it's all dependent on several things. Like, if your dog bites again, then your dog won't be in your home anymore. It sounds like he is going to have to be taken away. So it may become a non-issue. If your dog does bite, then he's out. So, but if you're able to somehow control your dog with a muzzle or some other way, so that so he doesn't bite again, then, and your husband isn't putting his foot down and saying it's me or the dog, like making you and your children choose, then it is very possible for you to have all of those things. But again, we can only control our own thoughts, our own feelings, and our own behaviors. And so you can't control what your husband does or the dog does or your children. So, but it is so hard. What you've brought up is so hard because it runs so deep. Our faith runs deep. And when someone we love so much turns away from that, it can leave you feeling kind of divided in half. And so that's, maybe you're feeling that. Maybe you're feeling just so torn, like, I want both, but you're kind of feeling like you can't have both. And that's why you're asking me, is it possible for me to have both of these things? So this is really, really difficult, and it's going to take a lot of processing of the emotions. And the good news is emotions process in 90 seconds. So about the time that it takes to listen to a song, you can process any grief, anger, the feeling of loss, whatever is accompanying that choice that your husband made. And so you may need to still process some of those emotions, and maybe your children do too. And maybe this whole thing with the dog is just kind of like an excuse or a substitute for those deeper feelings that are there and have not been dealt with yet. Those are just some questions right up front. We can get into more detail in a session together, but I hope that helps. Just make sure that you're looking at the facts, that things that actually happen, that people can all agree on. If it was a fly on the wall watching, they would all agree. Everyone in the room saw what happened, heard what was said, and then look at the stories you're telling yourself. It could be a story that they can't have all. You can't have God, your dog, and your husband in your home all at the same time. That may be just a story that you're telling yourself. And so just kind of look at that and see, oh, is that true? Is that really true? Can I have all of them? Why not? So, yeah. So Andrea, thank you. Thank you so much for writing in, and I hope that that's helpful to you. And I wish you all the best with those important challenges that you're having with your husband, with your dog, and with your faith journey and your husband's faith journey. So more power to you, and I wish you all the best. And let's talk some more about this. This is an important thing that there's still some work to do there that we can do together. Thank you.